Hi guys, and welcome to Book of Loop, where happiness is handmade and the best boyfriends are always found in books. So a few videos ago I had mentioned that I kind of just had like a really busy, crazy 2024, and because of that I didn't really get a chance to really do a lot of recording and making YouTube content and all that good stuff. So I wanted to kind of just jump on here and just talk about all those like crazy things that kept me so busy in 2024. So there were two main things that really happened this year that were kind of like big and important to me. So the first one is that I had the opportunity to go to the ALA annual this past year, which was in San Diego. I got to go for the weekend and kind of meet a bunch of library professionals and all this different stuff. And I even got to present, which was pretty cool. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. And the other thing is that I also took a certificate program from eCornell on medicinal plants, which was a pretty fun little like research kind of thing that I got to do. And I got a certificate at the end and all that. So that was fun too. So I'm going to talk about those two things and kind of just like catch you guys up to speed on what I've been up to. So without further ado, let's get into it. Back in 2023, one of my friends from college had reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in helping her present a presentation at ALA Annual the upcoming year. I said yes, because why not? I feel like that's an amazing opportunity. I wound up getting accepted and being able to go and present at ALA. And that was like an amazing thing. So ALA, the American Library Association, every year they host a conference. It's in different locations every single year where all different professionals, library professionals and book professionals from all across the country can go and kind of meet with like-minded individuals. You can go see panels where different librarians and industry professionals are kind of talking about innovations or giving tips and tricks and programming ideas and all different stuff like that. You can visit with different like publishers and kind of find out what new books are up and coming or what new technologies are being released that could be integrated into the library, all these different stuff like that. So getting to go to this was kind of something that I've been thinking about and wanting to do for a long time, and I was really excited for the opportunity to kind of go and get to present there. So we did a presentation on social media and how you can use that to kind of connect with patrons, use it as advocacy for the library, how you can use it to kind of understand readers advisory, all these different things that you could do. So we mainly focused on book talk and bookstagram with like a small portion of like where I talked very briefly about booktube and kind of just like the different ways that it could be really important to the library and how you can use it for statistics and you could use it to help advocate for programming, funding, all this different stuff. You can use it, I could scroll through, even if I'm just scrolling through like book talk, right? I can go through and I could see, oh, hey, you know what? A lot of people are reading Truly Devious. A lot of people are reading Cruel Prince. Maybe that's something that I should grab an extra copy for the library, stuff like that. That way when people come in, you know, and they're like, oh, I want to read the golden book with the dragon on the front, you could say, oh, Fourth Wing, duh, you know. There's so many different ways that you can use social media to help with the library. And it was really fun to get to kind of talk about this space that I've been using, and not even as a creator, but just as a consumer, I've been using since I was 12, 13. You kind of have the chance to help other people to better understand it. I think that social media kind of is like a scary world, and I think it's hard sometimes to get into it. So to kind of have the chance to break it down, and we took questions from the audience and help people feel more comfortable with it. So I think that was really fun. Our panel was on the second day that we were there. So the first day that we were there, we kind of got to just like walk around and meet people. I got the opportunity to sit in on a couple different panels that I was really interested in. One specifically about like YA romantasy, which I thought was super fun. I got to talk with some authors. I got to talk with different publishing professionals. I got to talk with my heroes, Libby. I love Libby. I swear by Libby. I think it's a really great tool, a great resource that everybody should be using. I mean, it's free to use. Like, your library pays for it, you might as well use it, right? It's a great resource. I love Libby. So I loved standing and talking to the Libby people and kind of just picking their brain about different things that Libby does. I just think it was a really fun experience, and I liked walking around and getting to talk with and meet people from all over the country, not just in my small little county, you know? I think that it was nice. I got to meet people from Washington and people from Florida, and it was really fun to get to connect with all these other library professionals that were nationwide. And I think it was just a really fun opportunity. Years ago, I used to go to BookCon, and BookCon was always like one of my favorite places to go. I loved getting to walk around and just like celebrate all things books and go and see, you know, the publishers and to hear the authors talk. During COVID, they stopped doing BookCon, and I was really upset about it because it was always one of my favorite events. Going here and kind of like experiencing the ALA conference, it really was like, it brought me back to those days, you know, where you're walking through and you have all the vendors. And I did take some pictures and some videos, so I'll splice some of them in while I'm talking. I mean, it's just amazing to walk through and kind of just see all these people that they share the same goal as you, right? They want to help people love reading. They want to help people better themselves. They want to better their communities and better the areas that they live in. They want to improve literacy rates, and they want to reach out to people that might feel lonely, or they might feel like different than somebody else, you know. And it's so amazing to kind of walk through and see all these people that we're all coming together and working towards a common goal. From all over the country. And I just think it was a really fun experience. It was really nice to connect with a bunch of people that are like-minded individuals. And it was nice to, you know, feel back in that space again. I feel like we kind of lost that after COVID. So it was nice to kind of step back into that world again of just a whole bunch of people that are really excited about the same thing, getting to all be in a room together and just experience it together. It was fun. I liked it a lot. So that was kind of my general experience at ALA Annual. I really had a really great time. I think it was a great networking opportunity. It was a great professional opportunity. Like, it felt good for the soul to just be there. It was really a really wonderful time, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Basically, as soon as I stepped off the plane, coming back from San Diego, I had to then start my certificate program for medicinal plants. And I have been working on a book, and I'll probably talk about it more like in a writing vlog one day. I had this idea for a book that would kind of star like an herbalist as its main character. And if I was going to do that, I didn't want to do it halfway, and I wanted to make sure I was doing the research and I had the information and things were going to be correct. So I started doing a lot of like self-study on plants and healing and plant healing and plant medicine and all these different herbal remedies. Over here is like all of like my plant books that I've been using to kind of study up in order to prepare myself for writing this book, but it just kind of felt like it wasn't enough. So I wound up getting an ad on Instagram that Cornell offers like an eCornell certificate program that you could take and you can earn a certificate in medicinal plants. And I was super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this. It wound up being on sale. It was still kind of pricey, but I feel like I got a lot out of it, so I felt like it was worth the price. I think it was good. Basically what it was is it was a 3-month course where every 2 weeks you switch topics and you cover all different medicinal plants or herbs and plants and fruits and their uses and how they can help improve your health. And not only that, it also covered how we derive certain medicines from different plants. I honestly found it very fascinating. I thought it was a really interesting course. I had a lot of fun with it. I will say that the one thing was that it was very sciencey, and I'm not a very like science person. Like, we were dealing with like scientific names and medicines and understanding like bodily functions and different like the circulatory system and the nervous system and like all stuff like that. I felt like it didn't like scare me. And normally stuff like that freaks me out. Like, I cannot really handle medical stuff. I'm not a science person. I was 100% an English and history kid, and science and math, not my forte, but I still had a really great time, and I feel like I still learned a lot and got a lot out of it, and it made it a little more approachable, where I'm like, okay, maybe I could have been a science kid, like, if I really tried hard. It was broken down in a way that was like super easy to understand. So like I said, every 2 weeks you would like switch topics. So like if the first week you were doing like the cardiovascular system, then the next week you would do the respiratory system, and then after that you would do reproductive health, and you would like go through every 2 weeks and you would switch your topics, and it would be broken down, and you would get like 5 or 6 different plants that you could use in order to aid those systems. So like, how does the licorice plant affect potassium levels, which affects your cardiovascular system, you know, like all these different things like that. And I just found it was really interesting and really fascinating. And it's something that I'm really glad that I did, not only for like as a writing tool, but also just like for myself and my family and our health and our wellness. I just feel like it was like a very like enlightening experience, and I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I feel like I am now much more prepared for going into the writing of this book. I think that it's going to be a lot easier of an experience for me now that I kind of have that base knowledge under my belt. And it also prepared you for kind of like doing research additional outside of the class too. So we had like assignments that we had to do each week. And during those assignments, you had to, go to the reputable sources, and you had to write an article based on your plant and what the issue was, and how you were going to answer it. It really helped. I really think that it was a really great course. I would definitely recommend it for anybody that's like interested in herbalism or learning about plant medicine, or even if you're like, you don't even like have to be a doctor to do this. You could just like do it for fun. I think it was a good course. So that kind of took up like a good chunk of my year, because it was 3 months doing that class, and then kind of like preparing for it, and then afterwards still kind of like digesting and understanding all the materials that we went over. And I just find it was like, it was fun. Like, I kind of missed being in school to some degree. I loved when I was in undergrad and we like had class every day and we got to go and sit and do whatever. The end of my undergrad, COVID started, and then when I started grad school, it was 2020, so like we were in COVID. Either way, my program was online, and I didn't really love the online schooling kind of situation. I like being in a classroom. I like having the accountability of having a teacher in front of you and classmates around you, but I really didn't mind it. I think like 3 months was like the perfect amount of time for me to like not lose interest, and you were getting so much information and so many details, and I just think it was a lot, but it was good. Like, it was good pace. It was fast paced, but it was enough to kind of you want to learn more, so you're okay with the fast pace because you're constantly just like going. I really thought it was good. It was a good class. I really enjoyed it. So those were kind of like the two major things that I did last year. I had a lot of stuff going on with my family, all good things, weddings and people moving and all this different stuff. It was like a whirlwind year, and I feel like it went really fast. So far, 2025 has been off to a slow start. Not a whole lot going on. I think I read 14 books in January just because I had nothing else to do. So yeah, I think that 2025, I'm hoping is going to be a little less like go, and I'm going to have time to kind of decompress a little bit maybe and return to some of the things that I kind of had to neglect in 2024. I think that that's gonna be it. That's kind of like my big life updates on what's going on. So yeah, I had the honor of presenting at ALA Annual, and I got a certificate in medicinal plants. We're having lots of fun. So I'm gonna try to record a writing update next if I can. Talk a little bit more about that writing project that I'm working on. Talk a little bit more about like my querying process, because that was kind of a doozy last year, and just kind of, slowly ease myself back into this. So that's going to be all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this little life update on what's going on with me. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks.